Hey folks, it's Nick Granville. Welcome to Guitar Daily. This is my daily thing I do on YouTube. Hey, look, if you have any questions about any of the stuff that I've ever covered in past episodes, leave a comment below. If there's stuff you'd like me to cover, I'm happy to do it. This is cool. So I thought today I'd talk about improvisation. Something I do a lot. It's a large part of what I do. I'd say probably all the time it's what I do. Other than when I'm reading and it's very strict and I have to play a set part. And even then I still try and put in my own little things and improvise a little bit anyway. But here's 5 things that I think would help your improvising. That common problems that I see with a lot of people. First one I'd say is not repeating things enough. I see people doing things like they go... There's nothing there for the ear to catch on to. It's just a whole lot of notes, right? But if I go... and then I let it go by for a minute... See, there I had an idea and I repeated it. So repeating things is probably one of the first things I'd say. It makes your playing more memorable, right? And by repeating things, you don't necessarily have to repeat it verbatim, but you might play something that's similar, right? And instead of just being idea after idea, instead of being idea after idea after idea, now we have an idea and we kind of play something that relates to it, right? Like think about a 12-bar blues, how it's sung, right? You have an idea, you repeat it, and then you have a thing that's sort of an answer to the others, right? So try that. Try repeating things more often. So my idea there was... Right? Try repeating things. It's one of the big things. Second thing, think compositionally, right? If we think about a well-composed solo, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? So maybe it might start sparse, and then it builds up, and then it kind of tails off to an ending, and it finishes. It has that classic bell curve. So think compositionally about your solo. Maybe you'll start really sparse with like a really simple melodic idea, and you'll become more intense and more crazy, and then resolve it. I'll show you what that might sound like. See there, had a really clear kind of intention to start with, and it got a bit crazier and then sort of wound itself down. So it had a compositional nature. All of our favourite solos, regardless of whether they're improvised or not, have a compositional nature of some sort, whatever it might be. So try and think compositionally when you solo and improvise, and it'll sound more appealing to everybody, right? Third thing, number 3, don't overplay. Right, on guitar it's very easy to play lots of notes. I see people go... and there's like no gaps, right? Guitar's one of the instruments you don't have to breathe. And all of a sudden it's like there's no gaps, it just becomes this assault on the listener, right? Better thing, is think of something like... leave a space. So you see there, I left some gaps so that there was an idea for the chance for the listener to absorb what you're playing. So be deliberate about not overplaying and leaving some gaps, right? Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just do one note. something like that, right? Fourth thing, play melodies, right? This is something I try and always think about, right? What is it that makes something melodic? Well, if I go... something like that. Now, I'll get to this later. There's fun in doing that as well. But that's not a melody that a singer would ever be able to sing. So you wouldn't say it's melodic, right? Generally, singers keep their intervals kind of smaller and closer together. And they're going to leave gaps to breathe. So their melodies are going to have, a certain sort of length and a certain sort of intervallic distance. So I try and think of that when I'm playing, right? I'll think... Right, so you see there I had a very melodic intention about my playing, and that always makes more sense to people. And number 5 is have some excitement in your playing, right? A little bit of unpredictability. If you always play things that are always nice and always right there, it's going to get boring for the listener. Sometimes I'll just kind of throw caution to the wind and just play something crazy. Maybe I'll be like kind of charging along for a while and then I'll show you how I'm going to get into it. Maybe this is where we're going for a while. Kind of bluesy. And then maybe I'll go. Or as my friend Roger Mannins would play, a really great saxophone player, he would do things like he would go. And he'd kind of just hit these notes and then he'd just slide up on a saxophone to some kind of crazy note. Something like that just kind of grabs the audience's attention, you know what I mean? Now, I never start with this, I always start melodically and kind of go, and then at some point, if it feels like it's settling in too much, I'll just kind of shake it up a little bit with that by doing something kind of a little interesting and unexpected, and it keeps the momentum on the whole thing going. So try those 5 things. Number 1, repeat things so that you have a more memorable style of soloing, of improvising. Number 2, think compositionally, right? Number 3, don't overplay. At least try not to. It's a guitar. Number 4, play melodies. And number 5, have some excitement from time to time. Oh, look at Studio Dog. Hello, Jamesy boy. Come and say hello to the people. Come on. Come here. Look. Hello. And play something exciting so that people kind of look at it and go, oh, that's interesting, and it captures their attention. If you like what you've seen today, please subscribe. I post every day on YouTube, and I will be posting tomorrow. And if there's anything you particularly want to see, then let me know. Leave a comment below, and I'm happy to cover it if I can. Thanks so much for watching. I'll play you out with some more of that kind of improvised goodness.